G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an Instigating Gauss Minigun with 50% more limb damage and 90% reduced weight. It's one of the weapons that I have tested in the past, so this is yet another revisit, and we're doing something other than Blade because people were getting bored with that. Now, the Instigating Legendary effect, while it may not seem as useful for a weapon that doesn't have the highest per-shot damage, what the game does is you can sort of carry the Instigating Legendary effect even though your targets are not at full health, and I think that's just something to do with either the fire rate or the tick rate of the server, I guess. Those things together means you can carry the Instigating Legendary effect, and if your weapon kills fast enough, at least pre-patch, you could have the 2 times damage for the duration of the kill, so that was nice. But the damage has been nerfed since then, and the Instigating effect, whilst not nerfed by the initial One Wasteland patch, was gone, and it chased down and hunted down and defeated. And so the Instigating effect is no longer multiplicative, so it is barely useful anymore in terms of, getting that massive damage bonus, which kind of sucks. It sucks, Bethesda. Please revert some of these damage changes. They suck. They make the game needlessly grindy. There's a lot of grinding to be happening here, and I don't want to grind over goddamn damage. Anyways, blasting this damage mode aside, we've got 58 and 6 ballistic and energy damage respectively, which is, I don't know, it's pretty poor. I've never actually liked the Gauss Minigun. The first impression of this, sure, I got a 2-shot fire rate one or something. I scrapped it because it was useless, but the only reason that thing was good is because damage was bugged at the time. It was horribly inconsistent versus everything, and the Scorched Beast Queen could always just shrug off what the Gauss Minigun could do anyway, so it was completely useless. Absolute waste of time. But we'll give this one a fair run. We've got all the heavy gunner perks. Since we're not going to be reloading this all that often, we're using bullet shield instead of lock and load, because we've got a massive ammo capacity. We've got 1 gun army to stagger and cripple things. Helpful. We've also got some damage avoidance perks like dodgy. We've got life giver to make us a little bit more tanky. Action girl so we can run around and get our action points back a little bit quicker. Stabilize to increase our accuracy. Nerd rage could be replaced with gunsmith, but I might get full health, down to low health a little bit later in the video, so I might as well utilize that bonus. And we've got Tenderizer, which I believe is still multiplicative, meaning that's one of the most powerful perks in the game by itself. And this is my legendary perk setup. Might be utilizing this against the tougher enemies just so I can get the 30% multiplicative damage on that for 10 seconds, which is a good bonus to have. So, stuff like Swan or the Milo Queen, I just might sneak attack, crit them with a suppressed shotgun first, and then switch back to the Gauss Minigun and finish the job. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, so with all of those perks applied, we're getting ourselves 109 and 11 damage, which is, So here we are, not outside of Night City, because we aren't playing Cyberpunk right now. There's power armor. It's Strangleheart, but it's painted like Outcast power armor. And you know what? I'm going to sneak first off, because these super mutants, they need to get a little bit of a paddling from this thing. So it looks like we're still able to utilize the Instigating Legendary effect for a little bit, but man, these sights aren't great. It's more of a personal preference thing, but no, I don't enjoy using these sights. What we can do, however, instead of using the shitty sights, is just hip fire this thing, because we do have the stabilize bonus, and we're at a range where accuracy doesn't matter as much, because I can just kill them with volume fire. Die. I've almost just killed myself there. Yes, the Gauss Minigun does have explosive projectiles. It's not the best damage, but it's a nice extra if you aim shit, so it's good to have. It's like a little bit of a legendary effect, but I'd actually prefer it without that, because that means we'd be able to deal with the Scorched Beast Queen more effectively. And now with a bunch of adrenal reaction and all of that, I've got radworms. Well, that's a shame. 169 giggity damage, which is It's also double XP right now, so if you haven't, grinded out a couple of levels and then turned them into perk points to level up one thing, like I did 6 hours worth of grinding for one goddamn level of the cleave perk, well, you got a limited time. I think it runs out on, what, the 14th or something? I believe the season ends on the 16th, so if you haven't gone ahead and grinded all that out, you know it's free, you already have done that by now, but just a reminder if you haven't. This might sound crazy, but I actually prefer the iron sights on the MG42 compared to this, because at least this doesn't get in your way. Like, what am I even shooting at? There's a lot of visual recoil happening here, and it's It's not very fun to deal with. So first impressions are worth everything, and whoops. Gotta remember, unequip and re-equip the weapon if the reload is slow. And yeah, unfortunately for the Gauss minigun, it had a pretty terrible first impression, and I never got over it. Righto, let's send it through here, see what kind of damage we can do to these bastards. One of the more, I guess, important things that I did end up getting out of the legendary perk things is that I can utilize more points in intelligence, which means I can carry heaps more energy ammo, because I got myself 3 points of the batteries included perk, which is kind of, it's a requirement for this weapon, because to use this thing, you're going to need lots of ammo. Lots of ammo is very, very heavy for this weapon, and you'll find that if you don't carry a lot of ammo for this thing, world drops on this thing are scarce, and what 2mm ECs you do find, you'll use up in like 2 seconds. I'm gonna miss that legendary again, and if you don't like that, you're just gonna have to find a way to deal with it. I'm not going back there. Uh-oh, someone's using a full precision mesh. You better fix that, Bethesda. People think your game are buggy. You wouldn't have people thinking your games are buggy. That's a pretty bad thing. Speaking of buggy, apparently everyone hates Cyberpunk because it's buggy. Let me just remind you, Fallout New Vegas. Remember how buggy that one was at launch? And sure, they can't release it in this state, but it's the same fucking thing over and over. They gotta get these games out because all of the suits who are completely out of touch with how games work and how everything works, they want their money. The shareholders, they want the cash, alright? And the video game people have got to answer to those folks, because if they don't make the money. So, the last time, dumb money. So we're almost dead right now because I've been fairly careless in where I'm firing this thing, and like most rotary barrel weapons, I hate the barrel spin up on this thing with a fiery passion. I think it's annoying. I do think that I'm sick of these doggos too. It's so boring to fight. Just run up and make you jump around. Not fun. I still think that the more consistent and better performing weapon is still the MG42. Blade fire rate version, miles better. You can fire it as soon as you goddamn pull the trigger. Sure, it's got a lower ammo capacity, but I still think its time to kill is significantly better than this. Fuck off, doggo. It's not like I'm getting killed by the enemies. I'm actually tanking the damage quite well. I just keep killing myself, and, you know, it's not fun. I still don't like the Gauss minigun. I don't think I'll ever like this thing. And you can see the damage drop off from what I had before with the adrenaline and nerd rage and adrenal reaction, everything else active. You know, without that, this thing feels like it's very impotent. Oh well, what do you do, eh? You can complain about it in weapon review videos and achieve absolutely nothing like me, unless you upset the comment section. And if you are going to have a sook about that, go fuck yourself, I don't care. Alright, so we started off this video with about 2,000 rounds. We've gone through, what, 800 or so of them so far. So, we gotta make this last throughout the entire video. And 2,000 rounds of this particular ammo type is so goddamn heavy. 3 intelligence perks just to keep this thing running. You can get away with it with a Gauss shotgun, because in some cases, they deal so much damage that you can get away with carrying just a few rounds, because the mileage from said rounds is going to give you so much more bullets, so much more kills. That's actually not a terrible drop. Thanks, game. I'll use that never. Anyways, keep moving on. I did miss the cool Slayer. Well, at least it's context sensitive, right? And there's one of those RNG explosions. I reckon that's a very overrated perk. You can't depend on it to do damage, so what's the point? Get the perks you can depend on first. That's why I've put all of these explosion shit on the back burner, because it's not even worth having. Alright, so we've witnessed this thing kill the wow, this thing's got a higher time to kill. I mean a lower time to kill, which means better. Yeah. And the fact that I can just start firing as soon... Look, this video might just be explaining how much the MG42 is better than a Gauss minigun. Maybe not in Fallout Tactics. Go away, ghoulie. Get out of here. There you go. Nope. And we'll quickly finish off the rest of these ghouls. And then we'll move on to something a little bit more substantial. The deadly glowing one's always a tanky bastard, so he's going to take a bit of killing. The rest of these guys, don't have to worry about too much. So it seems that you can get away to an extent shooting from this range, but you have to be really close before you start losing health. Wait, what? I don't know, I somehow managed to trigger damage on myself before. That's really weird. Well, I think I did just then. I don't know, there's just some hitbox inconsistencies, I think, which is, you know, for a weapon that probably just uses the minigun mesh and everything. Or just based off a minigun, same skeleton bones. No, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Let's just shoot more things. Okay, so we've just got over half of the amount of bullets that I carried into this thing left. And, you know, this is only a short amount of gameplay, and I'm clearing out these things at a rate which is not favorable. I'm going to have to go back to the ammo bench quite a lot. Or rather, I would have to invest a lot of perks and levels into getting a thing that makes me craft more ammo so I can grind more, more. It's an endless cycle, a vicious, vicious cycle. I'll keep on going regardless though, and I'll think of more ways to tell you how much I hate this weapon and how inferior it is to an MG42, which is the better pick here. I don't know where this weapon comes from. Maybe it's China. See, the Germans know how to make shit. They made the MG42. They got a nickname, the buzzsaw. It just keeps firing bullets. You just swap out the barrel every now and then because it gets a bit warm. But make sure you do that. I need to grab, not this one, the shotgun. Yes, there it is. I could potentially chuck on Enforcer to use this as a more utility thing, but I've already got the one gun army perk, right? So that doesn't seem all that worth it. Unfortunately, if we do whack them with the slight damage bonus before we go, we lose the instigating legendary effect. So potentially I would just rather, instead of using the shotgun, just use the sneak critical from the Gauss minigun, because you only need one. Okay, so I think I've come up with the perfect analogy, or not an analogy, but a perfect comparison to adequately describe how much I hate this thing. I hate this weapon more than I hate ghouls. And I'm not talking about like feral ghouls either, I'm talking about like all ghouls. All ghouls are the same to me, walking zombie corpses, and they should all be exterminated. Similarly, the Gauss minigun should be wiped from existence and wiped from the cannon like it never existed. As in its present state, it is an embarrassment to all of the heavy gun kind. I think MG42 does, wait. You know what, I should have seen that one coming. Now these Mylark tangs are a little bit of a pain in the ass, so if I could shoot them, hit them, and kill them, that'd be nice. Come on now. There we go. We're in nerd rage now. Damn, I'd love if I knew what I was shooting at. That's another thing too. They don't try to emphasize the power of the MG42 by throwing up all of these giant clouds of super danger when your bullets are landing. No, they're just bullet things. See, that weapon does its talking by just shooting stuff and killing it really, really quick. Really? I'm actually gonna run out of bullets before we get to the Scorch Beast here. Well, this is just gonna be the way it is then. Alright, maybe we should go for the legs now, because this clearly isn't working. Rightio then, we'll swap this thing's magazine, we'll target the legs and see what we do from there. There's another crab over there, we might as well grab some adrenaline off that. Well, we can use the utility bonus of this thing's crippling powers to stop the Mylark Queen. I wouldn't be surprised if we ran out of bullets before we're done here, though. Come on! Come on! Right there! I'm shooting it in the leg! Just die! Holy shit, we've only got 139 bullets left. Like I said before, this weapon is a proper embarrassment to all heavy gunner kind, and you should never use this thing ever. Like, this thing is the biggest waste of a grind in this game, and, you know, they need to change this. Firstly, stop this explosive bullshit, because it makes the weapon needlessly inconsistent. Well, I'm not going back to craft more ammo for this thing. It'll only waste it. And I think I'm gonna keep my electromagnetic cartridges for the Gauss shotgun instead. And that's what you get for thievery, Raider Thief. You don't just lose your fingers and thumbs, you lose everything. Okay, fine, we'll grab more ammo after a crash. Yeah, that's exactly how this works. Anyways, so I don't expect this to be good against a Scorch Beast because it was so abysmal against a Mylark Queen. We'll give it a shot. Yeah, that's pretty standard. Alright, so what I might do is I'm going to stop using this weapon because this thing's a write-off. This is a real heavy gun works. Oh look, I'm killing them, and I don't have to worry about no barrel spin up, that's for sure. And I just point at them, let the trigger go. Look, I can switch targets very, very quickly without having to waste ammo if I want to hold down the trigger. That Scorch Beast didn't want it. He heard the buzzsaw go off and thought, nah, I'm out of here, mate. And guess what? I can craft this ammo. It's more efficient in terms of ammunition for me to do this than it is to use the Gauss Minigun, which is just sad. It's a weapon that you got to do all this goddamn grinding for, all of this tedious crap. And what do you get out of it? Nothing. And as we're going further and further into the bloodied, I know my my Gauss Minigun wasn't bloodied, but still. The consistency you get out of these things, and I know it's a thing that I've been really hammering on, but it must be said, this thing is just so much better in every conceivable way. So basically, if you've got any weapons like this, save your 2mm ECs for your Gauss shotgun, because at least that can do something. Unless it's a Scorch Beast and you want to switch to something else. But no, the Gauss Minigun is just such a terrible and abominable weapon that it's not broadside levels of bad, but fuck me, so bad. And this Scorch Beast is being a little bitch right now. If he was on the ground, it would have blasted his ass 7 ways to goddamn Sunday from now, but now I have to fucking chase and hunt around. This is getting salty, I know, but seriously, I'm so done with this game. This game's weapon balancing has been poor since the start, and bringing down everything to a shit level is not gonna fix anything if it makes all of the good stuff passable and all of the poor stuff worse in this new damage model. I know there's gonna be some Bethesda fellatio enthusiasts that, you know, don't like me talking about the precious damage model and how fucking terrible it is, but you're just gonna have to cop it on the chin like you usually do. If you don't like it, fuck off. That's the motto. So that was the Instigating Gauss Minigun. Get back, you cockhead. God damn it. I'm not in the mood for using this weapon anymore. It's so bad. It's almost broken too. Was this like full? It must have been like 150% repaired. Also, love the Cranberry Bog and its terrible terrain. We'll chase him down. I don't know what's with this guy. He's decided that he's going to... Oh, he's actually cowering. You know, I've never seen that from a Scorch before. That's probably a bug. But yeah, it's a very disappointing weapon, and I wouldn't be surprised if this thing got scrapped. I think the only reason I'm still keeping it around is because it's got the reduced weight on it, which, you know, it doesn't work with the attachments, but 5 weight for a Gauss minigun is, you know, that's probably the only thing that's good about it. That's enough for me. Thank you for watching, guys.